Movies are the greatest thing the world has ever came up with. Not the Mona Lisa, not Beethoven, and not even fried chicken. Okay, I'm lying. Fried chicken is the MVP. It's the best. But the entertainment industry as a whole will never fail to get me gassed every time I see a different show, play a different game, or watch a new gold anime. Everyone loves it. We all love being distracted. And we're all familiar with some of the biggest pieces of media, like the Avengers movies, Maze Runner, Game of Thrones, Ready Player One. There's a bunch of movies we all know and think are sick as hell. But there's low-key a lot of movies people don't talk about enough. And some of these could even match up to some of the GOATs because they were amazing. So I thought today we could go over some of the most underrated movies I've ever seen, and I could get some nostalgia rolling in your head and 1,000,000% get you to reminisce about these. And if you've never seen it, get you to watch it ASAP. So without wasting time, let's get into it, man. Starting with the greatest Disney movie of all time. And this shit is so legendary, it hurts that it's not spoken about enough. It is hands down one of the best classics Disney has ever made in their whole generation of ever existing. It has the best cinematography, the best music, the best characters, the best everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Chicken Little. And without a doubt, this was my childhood, man. You know how much I love this movie, bro. When I was a kid, this was my guilty pleasure. This movie was one of those things as a child. I used to binge it, fam. I had it on DVD and everything. This was sick. I loved Chicken Little growing up. And I was kind of surprised to find out that not a lot of people rock with it or even heard of it. This back in the day was something else, I'm telling you. Now, if you're not familiar with this movie, let me give you a quick rundown. So it follows the story of a boy named Chicken Little, who for the entire movie is just trying to get respect from his dad. Because in the beginning of the movie, he starts a whole shebang messing the whole town up to say the sky is falling and everyone thought he was just chatting shit. Even his own dad was out here agreeing with the whole town, calling his son out in front of everyone and saying he's embarrassing, making Chicken Little feel like crap. And dead ass, his dad is a piece of work, fam. This guy sucks. He constantly downplays and makes Chicken Little look worse the entire movie. Like there's a scene where he says to him he wants to start playing baseball and be like his old man, since this guy used to be some big shot high school baseball player. And his dad throughout the entire conversation was just downplaying it, not encouraging him at all to pursue it. The guy was hating the entire movie, and it wasn't until the sky was actually falling that this guy finally believed him. He was cloud chasing. The whole first half of the movie he was embarrassed of him until he won the baseball game, and then he was finally proud of him. What a piece of shit, fam. What kind of father is this? This guy sucks. Genuinely, his dad is like one of the worst dads I've ever seen in a movie, bro. How are you ashamed of your own son? This guy's a sicko, man. You're trash. But the whole story generally revolves around everyone not believing him on his alien conspiracy he shares at the start, until aliens actually come later on and finesse the whole town. You man messed up. You should have believed him. He wasn't lying. But growing up, there was something special about Chicken Little. This movie stood out to me than a lot of other Disney movies at the time. I'm not gonna lie, this and Underdog was my shit. If you watch Underdog, I salute you. That movie's also goated. But Chicken Little was just different, man. It was fun. The characters are dope as hell, especially my goat, Fish Out of Water. This is the greatest character in the movie. He's amazing. The story's decent, but I ain't gonna lie, it's too fast paced. Like they go to the alien invasion part way too quickly. It happened in like 2 seconds. But to take everything in and for me to say how I found it, this movie was just hella fun to watch. Like the opening when he's doing a bunch of different stunts and dumb things to get to school on time since he missed the bus. Look how stupid some of this shit was, bro. He's using a whole lollipop to stick to a car, or even the moment he used a soda bottle as a jetpack, or even Ron just being a big ass pig and doing some shenanigans. Like this was fun to watch, man. It was cool. If I had to compare this to another movie, I'd say it's kind of like Shark Tale. Since Shark Tale revolves around Oscar trying to hold up a lie saying he's the shark slayer for clout, Chicken Little's the opposite, with him trying to prove he's not lying until the townsfolk that an alien invasion is about to finesse them. These two are kind of similar to one another, and the plot to both of them are just the exact reverse of what each story is. This movie is a childhood classic, and you know, I rewatched it yesterday to even speak about today, and I'm gonna be honest here. It's pretty mid, but that's because I'm an adult now and my brain has developed too much so I can see right through a lot of movies, I'm not gonna lie. Whereas when I was a kid, I was basically entertained by anything moving on the screen. Shit, I used to like watching TV ads like Hexbug and Lely Kelly shoes, and guess what? These shoes look cool as hell. Look at them, look how shiny they are, they're fire. And I know for a fact, every time the advert used to come up, I know certain people would always be dancing to the tune, me included. I'm not gonna lie, it was catchy as hell. But we're getting off topic again. But despite all the hate Chicken Little gets, I still think it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it. It's a decent Disney movie. This movie is so full of memes as well, it's dumb, and it's a good watch if you got the time to see it. So to end on talking about this movie, go watch Chicken Little. It's amazing and it's fire. Moving on to my next flick to speak about, one of the greatest 2010 movies of all time, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And I'm gonna be completely transparent here. I hated Scott Pilgrim the first time I watched it. I thought it was so arse. The first time looking at this, I just thought everything was mad weird. Everyone is just hella awkward during conversations. Scott is a bum. Ramona sucks at being a girlfriend. And the whole movie's just weird. And then I watched it a second time, and I see why people love this movie. It's sick. When I rewatch Scott Pilgrim, even though there are some parts I think can improve, all in all, it's a fun and great movie. It was so ahead of its time. There's so much sick moments in the movie. Like the fight scenes are top tier. The music is amazing with Sex Bomb and that one Envy Adams song that goes crazy. Everything out of Scott Pilgrim is literally straight out of games, and they even rip sound effects from games like Sonic the Hedgehog in the movie. Also, me not liking everybody being awkward the first time I watched this movie just made a lot more sense the second time I watched it. That's what makes this movie stupid fun. Everybody's flipping weird and it's cool. But I do want to say say, Scott is a bomb, bruv. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The guy is 23, crashes at his roommate's crib and owns nothing, has no job, and he's a gooner. And he's not just any type of gooner. He's a weirdo. This guy's a sick man. Why are you dating Knives, bro? She's 17. This ain't legal. Someone needs to call Gideon. This guy needs to be locked up, fam. Who thought this was okay? This is a mad individual. What's wrong with this guy? In fact, it's not just Scott. Everyone in this movie is a flipping gooner. How the hell did Gideon establish a league of evil exes and all of these men actually agreed to join in it? And half of their stories for joining are stupid. Matthew Patel isn't even an evil ex. He was barely an ex. He was with Ramona for like a couple of hours, but somehow he wanted to fight to the death with Scott. Like, come on, pack it in, man. What the hell are you doing? You got too much free time. Also, this movie has a bunch of famous actors in it. Like, we got Captain Marvel, Anna Kendrick, flipping Chris Evans, the guy who played Superman in the CW show, and Michael Cera. The cast of this movie was dope. Now, if you haven't watched Scott Pilgrim, let me give you a quick synopsis of this movie. Scott Pilgrim is about a guy named Scott Pilgrim who meets a girl named Ramona Flowers, and to date Ramona, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes to be with her. Yeah, I'll be real, Scott's doing too much. If he was real, he'd be slapping every OF and IG model their paycheck. This guy's a certified goof. But throughout the entire movie, he just fights every evil ex. And some of these men got powers, like being a ninja, being an actor, or having psychic powers because they're flipping vegan. And it's up to Scott to beat the shit out of all of them to get with Ramona at the end. Even though at the end of the movie, he almost doesn't get with her because Ramona was about to leave him. And I got a big problem with this shit because hold on, Ramona is horrible. How did Scott go through all of that bullshit? She saw the guy do half of this shit, beating up her exes, getting jumped, getting thrown into the sky and flipping dying. And Ramona was just gonna leave saying some bullshit like, I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Shut up, man. Those type of endings are crap. I swear they piss me off. I'm even thinking that Scott wouldn't have even gone with her if it wasn't for Knives telling him to go with her. And what the hell, man? She was literally about to leave him, bro. It's not like anyone is owed a relationship with anybody. I'm not trying to say Ramona had to get with him, but you seriously tried to dip after all of that. Don't piss me off, man. And it's not even just how she tried to leave Scott. She handled breaking up with each and every one of her exes so horribly. No wonder they all crashed out and formed a league. She dropped Lucas Lee for Todd in like a day, and I'm pretty sure every other ex wasn't even long term. They were all temporary. She had no stable connection with anyone and ended it with all of them for what? For no reason. Ramona is a horrible communicator. She's terrible. But see, their relationship isn't even the true ending to Scott Pilgrim versus the world. It's not that he ends up with Ramona. It's that Scott finally got some balls and gets some self-respect for himself and treats others properly. Throughout the movie, Scott was just brain dead. He didn't want to be real with Knives about Ramona and break up with her. He didn't ever want to pattern up and get out Wallace's house. And he didn't even care about getting his band signed or even apologizing to Kim. This guy was a prick, I'll be honest. But later on, as the movie progresses, it takes him dying to realize he messed up and actually told everybody how it was, which is Scott's whole development summed up. He went from being an absolute douche to being better. It's character development, man. Character development. Scott Pilgrim is a must watch. It's literally a game turned into a movie. That's the whole vibe I got from it. And the anime is just as fire. Takes Off is sick. And it's not even the same as Versus the World. It's completely different. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is about Scott disappearing in the first episode to Ramona investigating where he's gone and what happened to him. And in the anime, you get this sick animation, cold fight scenes, a better story which each episode focusing on a different character and giving us more to them. And it fits the atmosphere a lot better to the characters, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you wouldn't believe it. The villain in Takes Off isn't an evil ex. It's Scott. His older self cucks himself in the future. This guy's a dickhead. But the sick fight at the end and when they jump older Scott is 10 out of 10 animation. It's fire. Scott Pilgrim is a legendary series. The movie's full of a bunch of references. It has one of the best opening intros I've ever seen in a movie. A lot of likable, decent characters and a good storyline. And the anime is just as dope. The animation is flawless. The characters in the anime are even more awkward and quirky, which makes the show much better. The fights here are just like any other top tier anime. The story here gives you more to see about everybody else and develops the characters in the show a lot more as individuals rather than just Ramona's exes. And that mess with it heavy is dope as hell. If you haven't seen anything related to Scott Pilgrim, you gotta jump on that because I'm telling you, you'll get so gassed at watching this for the first time. It's crazy. Believe that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the final movie. And this shit is a UK masterpiece. It is by far the best movie to ever come out of here. This shit is so legendary. It speaks volumes as soon as you say the title. It is 100% one of the greatest movies to ever exist. But without further yapping, I present to you the one and only Attack the Block. Now look, like I just said, this movie came from the UK and I don't think it was that big internationally. But this right here is a certified hood classic, man. This movie is sick. Before there was Top Boy, before there was Supercell, before there was flipping Armani, we had this beautiful masterpiece. This right here is everything. This is the most underrated movie to exist. Attack the Block is a chef's kiss, man. It's a mythical movie. This shit made John Boyega famous. This was a career star movie. He would have never been in Star Wars if it weren't for this shit going crazy. I'm telling you. Now, if you never heard of Attack the Block and you're mad confused to what I'm saying? Think of it like this. Attack the Block is literally just aliens mixed with the Mandem. This was tough. So let me quickly run you through what Attack the Block is so you guys can understand what I'm talking about more. Attack the Block is a movie about aliens attacking a council estate in South London after a bunch of gang members jump one alien, which gets the rest of them to come to Earth to try and kill the Mandem. And the cast of characters goes as Moses, Pest, Jerome, Dennis, Biggs, Tonks, and the legend himself, Hi-Hats. And you see Hi-Hats here, this guy's a joker. He had a whole song and everything. Shit went like, get that snitch, get the strap, don't give a f. Bruh, this was my shit, man. It used to go crazy back in the day. This movie is so underrated and underappreciated, it needs to be studied. If you were to walk up to any person in London and ask them about this movie, I'm telling you, they probably sit there after you mention the name and all the nostalgia will just climb into their head. This movie can't be described. It's beautiful. The story is sick. The action is amazing. The aliens in the movie look great. I mean, look at them. They got green teeth. Shit was mad. And the humor in this movie is unmatched. You've never seen anything like it before. But there was so much to this movie. At the beginning, the cast are just a bunch of menaces. They robbed the lady and finesse her for some money, but as soon as the alien invasion happens, they gotta start locking in. They get serious. They start being better people in a life or death situation and actually do right by the same woman they robbed at the start of the movie. Moses comes off as a troubled adult at the start who ain't got no choice but to sell drugs and rob for Hi-Hats. But then after the aliens come in, it forces them to get serious and he changes near the end of the movie when he decides to almost sacrifice himself and take accountability for even bringing the aliens here in the first place, since Moses killed one of them which started everything. And it isn't even just Moses. Everyone does a bunch of shit in this movie, like Pest using fireworks, Dennis with his whole katana, Biggs calling the feds to back it and save the block, and even Probs of Mayhem being Probs of Mayhem. Everyone in this movie did something. Not one person was useless, I'm telling you. Attack the Block is one of the few UK movies I can say is generational. This movie alongside some of the GOATs like Kidulthood and Anotherhood is crazy. Anotherhood is also one of the best movies to ever come out of the UK, and it's basically just the UK's version of Friday. And this shit is hilarious, bro. It's also a must watch. Believe me, you'll cry laughing at this shit, man. I'm telling you. But I promise you, if you haven't seen Attack the Block yet, you will love that movie if you go pick it up and watch it right now, because I swear to God, this is one of the best movies to ever exist, and it's so underrated. It's crazy. This is what started everything out here. This movie was too fire, and I'm saying now, you need to go watch it, man. Just trust me, you need to go watch it. But now we're at the end of the video, and these were some underrated movies I wanted to speak about today. If you lot got any more I didn't mention in this video, write them down in the comments below. I love you, man. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you have a blessed and great rest of your day. Goodbye.